forward. Oh, there we go. Now we're recording. And then also, I believe they contracted with somebody. I don't know if it was their own equipment, but they did a 3D scan of the buildings. They flew a drone up in the sky and got pictures from the outside. And then they also had tools where they went in and they scanned the interior of all the buildings. So that really helped them with measurements. Instead of having to go and measure everything by hand with a tape measure, they could get measurements that way. And then there's a lot of imagery that they captured with those scans that they're able to use in the designs to help get a real feel for, for us to really be able to see what's going on and what's where. So that was pretty neat. And then the architects have been working on the preliminary designs. So those parts really include the front entrance, a vestibule for the rear, not this rear entrance right here, but the one in between the White Wing building and the connector walkway. The big connector that they're working on in between the sanctuary building and the parish house, and changes to the narthex in the, I guess, sort of the back of the sanctuary. So those are the big focus area when we're talking about designs. They also had to figure out, details like the mechanical and the electricals and where they could put piping and air vents and things like that in those designs. So that's what they've been working on. Now that we have those designs, the architects need to go to the Nashua Historic District Commission meeting. We are in the Nashua Historic District here, which means that there's an extra review that needs to happen. Thankfully, there hasn't been much review we've needed to do with the city, I think in part because we're a church. But the Historic District does want to take a look at the plans and be okay with what we're doing. So that'll happen hopefully in February with the architects. And then if things go according to plan, we will be breaking ground sometime around June. So that sort of brings us up to what we know now and what's been going on the last few months. The next slide. The next slide is, as part of all these conversations, we've realized that we need a little more focus in a couple of areas. We need some more feedback and attention on two things. In part, as part of redoing the front entrance, the large oak tree in the front will need to be taken down. So we are looking for people to join the oak tree task force and help decide what to do with the wood from the tree, and to respectfully help make decisions about the tree.
Yeah, I think the main thing on these two task forces, things will have to happen as soon as thanks.
Oh.
As we start construction, we need to take down the tree. If we haven't thought about it ahead of time, the tree will just get taken down. But we could, there's things we can do with that tree and hopefully use the wood in respectful ways. And same with the Oregon, that as soon as they start things, it's like they want to move, and if we haven't thought about it and figured out what we're doing,
you're gonna find the driver's license for me.
Oh, yeah.
Those online may want to on Zoom may want to mute yourselves. So yeah, that was part of why we're looking at these task forces early.
Yep, for the time, yeah, because those are things that need to happen. And so if anybody is interested in the Oak Tree Task Force or the Oregon Task Force, they should probably let us know now. Or,
yeah, you can let us know here or the BOV email.
Yeah, so it's BOV@UUNashua.org. Okay, does anybody have it before we move on to looking at designs? Yes.
The Oregon Task Force, we've just decided to have a meeting because we need Jed. And next Sunday after church, we're going to try to get the group together. We'll be sending out a note to the people who are involved, who have volunteered so far, make sure that most or all of them can make the meeting next week.
Okay. So
same with the tree task force. We're going to also start next week after church. So both will be going.
Emma, you mentioned 3 lots.
Sure.
You did not mention the cemetery, though.
So the cemetery was part of the church lot.
Oh,
Yep, so it was already included on the one that the
it
sanctuary
was?
design. I believe so.
According
Yeah.
to the city, yes.
Yeah, that's what the city had for their record.
Okay,
So the
They would
cemetery is
know.
included in all of that as
Okay,
one big lot.
thank you.
So just to clarify,
Sure.
we are talking 2 trees out front, not just one.
Correct.
Ah, okay.
Right.
I didn't realize that.
Yep. And the maple, I haven't looked at maple it is, but there's. Take it down
Ah,
It's right in front of the parish house
in front of the parish house.
and it's sick.
okay, thank you for clarifying.
Well, that would have to come down anyways if it's sick, so. Feel it.
Yeah. So if you're interested in continuing with those conversations, that's the group to join. Okay, that's what
Yeah. Okay, well, we can jump into a little more detail.
Hey,
So,
Frank, if
yes.
you wanna X out of the meeting chat, it'll make it a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was. As you can see, this is part of the scans that Emma was talking about that they took. And so we see things on top or overlaid with their drawings, which is nice. They won't have the same fidelity as a photograph, but as we go through things, but it's nice to see. The parts that we'll be talking about are the connector, which is here. I don't think there's any way I can easily show people online. I guess I can this way. The connector. So this is the connector here. It comes out with a to the front with a new vestibule that will show more detail, but comes up to the first pillar. So that is one part. The next part is the lobby here that we, what?
Narthex,
Yeah, narthex, but I think we're calling it a lobby, even though they call it a narthex. What's happening with the lobby here, and then I can't move that way. And then we'll talk a little bit about the new entryway, as well on the Grove Street parking lot area. We are adding a vestibule there so that people who are coming in from the Grove Street know which entrance to come into. So it's very clear, and an overhang, so you can actually stand at the door and not get poured on. So we'll take this from the outside and then to the inside is the way we'll approach this. Any questions from this diagram? The other thing that feedback we'd like is like feedback for the architect. So oohs and ahs, that looks cool, or are we really doing that? You know, those are good too. We want all that input. Yeah.
Frank, is the door next to Erica's office going to be removed, or is that going to stay as a door?
Next to that door, so there's a, you mean into the vestibule, will there be one? So this is coming in from Light Ring here.
Oh, that's the door. Okay.
Yeah, this is coming from Light Ring here, and that will stay there, yeah. So this is the site plan that's being worked on. This is from actually a third party that they have involved. And so let's look a little bit at a few things. As you'll notice here, this is the Lemon Street parking lot right here. And this becomes our handicap parking. So they looked at parking along the street here, but it's actually a little bit of a steep angle for ADA for compliance. So we will build instead of going down those stairs to the to Lowell Street, it'll actually be a ramp that will come around and all be ADA compliant. So that makes it, there's right now a fence that's right here, one of the black rod fences, and that will get pushed back right to the wall here. There's no grave sites in this area. So that wall, that gate will get pushed back to here. And so then that walkway makes a nice walkway all the way to the new entryway. And then if we go over a little bit, this is the new connector. And again, you can see that little vestibule sticks out a little bit here. This is the proposed new entryway, which will let us be very clear where our entryway is, and then the new proposed vestibule over here. And the one thing here is you can see this wall here. Sorry for people on Zoom, it's harder to show you things. But this wall right here is not going to be there. The site people proposed that, and they've since made some choices to try to make so we don't need the wall. So these steps coming up this way were all pretty much as wide as the steps we have now, which is I think 10,
15.
That was 14. It was
14 feet, yeah. So they're gonna bring those into 5-foot steps. So you'll have a good amount of space going up and down, but it's not as much as we needed. So this whole pathway will stay the same, but the stairs will be smaller coming up. So that will allow them to bring in this grade some, and they won't need that wall.
Yeah, that wall being a retaining wall.
Yeah, it was a short retaining wall, and there just didn't seem to fit in. So that's sort of the site plan. And I guess the other thing is back here on the back with the new, this is the back of the sanctuary. So this doorway.
Frank, Nan is asking if you could describe a little more what you're pointing to.
Okay, the riprap and where there's the number 4 is the doorway has to be lowered. You know, the height of the what is the sanctuary, Frank, called? Chancel. The chancel. So when they do that, they needed to regrade a little bit. There is concerns where there are existing gravestones or burials there, so that's all being investigated. But they do need to redo things a little bit there. The other thing that will happen is in the back. Let's see if I can orient myself correctly here. In the back here, right below where it says pavers against the building, is where our heat pump is going to go. So we do have to have a device outside for that. We will be able to put up some screening in front of it, maybe some trellis with something growing on it or something to help both alleviate the view and the noise that it might make. So when you're in the memorial, it'll be hopefully as quiet as can be.
The rectangle at the right now, it's at the bottom, just to the left of the Zoom thing. It says vestibule. That is what is now the kind of brick entrance that goes into the door between the parish house and the sanctuary. Is that correct?
That's blatant.
This here.
Yes.
So this is correct. This is going from the sanctuary here into the parish house over here.
Yeah, but I mean that location is what is now the brick walkway that goes to the door this way.
Correct.
Inside.
Yeah. From here there.
The supposedly glass covered place behind that.
Right. We'll show that in more detail.
Okay.
Each one of these will show in more detail.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah.
Frank, are they still going to have handicap parking in the lot behind us?
Yes. There will be handicap parking in the Grove Street
That's an
lot.
awful long walk from Lemon Street over to the
Yeah.
entrance for somebody who has difficulty walking but doesn't need a wheelchair.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Correct. Yes, there'll be handicap parking both places. Yeah, there's
Frank, I think under the more button, you can get a pointer.
the what?
People online would be able to follow.
We tried all different places and couldn't
Doesn't
find
work.
one. Yeah, there was no nothing that says pointer and nothing, the whiteboard settings you can look at, but you can't turn them on. So tried. All right. We'll continue on here. So this is going to be the, we'll start at the front of the church. So as Burns was just saying, this is the new entryway here that would be in the middle. It comes out again to about the beginning of the first pillar, which then means you can come up the stairs to the porch and you can get in that way. There's an entrance that way, and I'll show that a little bit later. And so this is the look of this. We had some questions on our call with the architects of like, well, interesting to put granite down here, right at the bottom. And we had good conversation on it. And basically what it came down to is one, when you add on to a building, you can do it in many ways. One is you could try to imitate what's already there, which is tough because this is 200-year-old, this is 100-year-old. The White Wing is, 70, whatever it is, right? Yeah, years old. So we got all different things to try to match. And then usually what happens is the materials that were used 200 years ago aren't available. So you match poorly. And it doesn't really respect necessarily the 200-year-old building that we have. So their thought is, well, there's granite in the steps, there's granite that will match in different ways, but giving it a different look basically says, this is our 20th century edition, not our old editions. And so that's sort of where that conversation went. We could certainly do other things. They put in a granite that was a mixture of sizes and stuff, and we're talking about a facade one, so it's about 4 inches thick. It's real granite, but we could do other things, right? People say, what could we do? Granite ones, but look like bricks, or things like that. So I don't know how people feel about that, and different looks, New England looks, but that was certainly a piece of the conversation we had. And then, so this is coming over from Lemon Street, and you'll be coming all the way up. You can see that there's a little bit of a grade there to get to the new entrance, and this is the new entrance and what that would look like. And these will all be white. We're seeing a lot of gray here because they had showed that there's overhangs and a shadow. But they will be white as well. That's the plan. And so you could come up some steps from the front to here. On the white wing, in between the White Wing and the connector here, the glass connector, these were doors. These will turn into windows. So there will not be doors halfway in the stairway going down to the lower White Wing. So we'll just have one main entrance. That's
Frank,
yeah.
where will the exit be for the playground?
Well, playground, even the classrooms, all the classroom doors.
Is there an outdoor playground in front of the White Wing over there?
There is, and each classroom has a door.
Oh, each classroom has a door.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you're coming from the street, like where the crosswalk is, how do you get up to there? Is that a different picture?
No, so the question was, if you're coming up from the street, where would you go? You could come up and walk along the walkway to it, or you could come over and go up the stairs.
Right, so those weren't pictured in the next slide?
No, they don't have pictures of the stairs. Any other questions about the front? Here.
Just a quick question. The porch itself, the surface, those bricks are spalling pretty badly. Are they going to be resurfaced or something?
Well, I think we're actually switching to cement.
Oh, okay.
So it's easier to maintain and shovel and everything else.
Right.
But not on the porch. Just
No, the porch itself, the porch up here, it will stay brick.
Oh, that's what
On top. Oh, the walkway.
No.
Oh.
I meant the porch floor itself.
Oh, the porch floor itself. I don't think anything's planned for that right now.
Oh, okay.
We plan for these doors, which will probably become newer doors, so we can actually insulate them and have them seal. But they will look the same.
It's hard to tell what, because there are photographs and mock-ups
Right.
merged here.
Yeah.
So it's a little hard to assess the visuals, but my immediate reaction to the part on the right is that looks like a garage. Right, my two-car garage on a house.
Yeah.
And maybe that's,
Right.
maybe it won't be like that because.
Frank, I can talk about that.
Okay.
These elevation drawings are very one-dimensional, and
Yeah.
we don't see things from this point of view very frequently.
Right.
And I think just what Kathy mentioned about the walkway that will go up towards the new door will orient us towards that door in a way that you cannot even imagine from these drawings. First of all, the beginning of that walkway is centered on the center of the sanctuary. So, and then it gives the eye a motion up to the door, which will be way more important than it looks here because they've drawn in the shadows. And notice how the connector between the sanctuary and White Ring completely coordinates in style with the connector on the other side of the sanctuary between there and the parish house. So I think the idea of the garage is just the proportions that you're seeing in the way the windows are shaped in this particular drawing.
Yeah,
Which
because
is really deceiving.
right, because this will be all windows looking in, and then right to the left of those two set of windows is that actually goes in. So like that's a turn, so it'll come, the sidewalk will come up to that. But it does have a very different look to it. You know, that's
From my point of view, it coordinates very well with the style of the White Wing. It's that sort of
right.
contemporary window, still not so contemporary anymore, but you know, sort of modernistic mid-20th century.
There we go. Well, it helps that the architect was from the congregation.
I tend to agree with that. I almost wonder if the flat roof may be contributing somewhat to
Yes.
the garage feel of it. You know, just.
Right, this is not the roof really here, this is the header of the overhang.
Okay.
And then the roof is flat, but you can't really see it.
Yeah.
And also, if this was windows, I mean, they've done it, it's dark gray, but you would see what's inside. I mean, there's lights on the other side, so the light would be coming through.
Right.
So it wouldn't appear to you like a rectangle, it would appear to you like you're seeing everything inside and everything through the back window.
I really appreciate the fact that we kept like the front of the church itself, like the sanctuary area with the pillars and everything, because that's like, I just really, coming from Kansas where all construction is kind of newer, I love that quintessential New England look. So.
Yeah. And then this is the, I would suggest the window, let's see, there's, how do I bring that back? Chat.
Did you see Matt's comment?
That's what I was looking at. I would suggest starting the windows 2 feet above the floor instead of floor length. So
Yeah, can you zoom in, Frank?
Yeah.
On that entrance?
That might mean it look less garagey as well. Hey. Good luck trying to drive it up there, but hey.
okay. Comment. So this is the entrance on the Grove Street side that comes out. As you can see, there's an overhang. They've had a good challenge on this overhang of how to match two very different styles that they're tying together. So does have a little bit of a look of a wing from this point of view, but I think they've done a pretty nice job of trying to match both roof lines, and you know, it is a connector, but it doesn't look like it's one roof line than another. How you might see some houses that don't match. And so that just nicely now would be very obvious which, when you're in the parking lot, which entrance to go to.
Right, the new links of the 2 to 3 roofs, they're all pitched to the back of the property?
Yes, I would believe so. That's a good question, but I think they are completely pitched towards back, yeah. Like the same way the connector is now. I think that's.
Is the connector taller than it is now? Or is that just my memory?
I think it's your memory. That's a good question. I don't think they're changing the height, but
Okay.
we'll, Emma's taking notes to ask the architect.
By the connector, you mean this part right here?
On the right, yeah.
Yeah. This,
Oh, I see. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, the glass walkway now.
How much of an overhang is it? Do you know?
How far it sticks out, I
Yeah.
do not know. My guess is, you know, things are pretty standard for overhang, so probably a foot and a half or something. I don't think it's really far.
Are we gonna keep that peace pole that we have out there or move it somewhere? or-
Probably be moved, but yeah, I would imagine we would keep. Yes.
Frank, are there solar panels that are part of this project?
This project does not have solar panels right now. We didn't have enough money to be doing that. You know, the oak tree blocks a lot of this. This roof is a 2-sided roof, and the other side is south, and that would be a nice spot for future use. So we do have some good space for it, but
are they planning for solar panels so that they can be mounted easily in the future?
like I said, the easiest spot would be the white wing roof right up here, so that we're not changing anything about it, but there's, you know, no reason that it wouldn't be a good roof for it in the future. Okay, I'm gonna move on. I should say, jump into things, but we don't have any of these closer in sections of the new entry. They haven't finished that yet. So as we get in, so this is looking at the connector between the sanctuary and the parish house. The top one is looking from the parish house towards the sanctuary, and the bottom one is from the sanctuary looking towards the parish house. So in the middle of the top one, you can see the double doors that come out of the sanctuary right now. If you continue farther right, that's actually towards Lowell Street. If you were just reversed here because of the 2 angles, you see the door that would be coming from the new lobby, right? And then the farther right door is the one that would be coming from outside towards the connector. So those, and then back here is the storage unit that's between the 2 that once was called a groom's room, I think. So that's that door there. And you can see on the top the 3 large skylights over the sanctuary windows, so it'll keep a nice light coming in for the sanctuary. And that and underneath to the left of the doors coming in from the sanctuary is sort of where our swimming pool is now. So that would no longer be there. They've actually figured out how to get the drainage that'll be coming off the roof and everything tied into a drainage on Lowell Street. It's actually on the corner there, but that's all that would tie in with the city's drainage.
Is that the same drainage we have now?
So the drainage we have now goes under the parish house and has a blockage. They would be not going through there. They'd be coming out and going directly to tie. It would be a new tie-in. And then down the bottom side, then we would be looking into the parish house. So the windows on the right are the kitchen windows, and you can see the double doors that go in there. And then on the left is the the windows into the fellowship room, and the far left is the new entryway that's on the porch. Right now, the plan is to keep the exterior look inside. So you would go in that connector, you would still see the exteriors of the two buildings as they are now, adjusted for things that need to be adjusted, but to leave that to sort of have a outside inside. Which I've seen some lovely examples of that. Williams College has, like, they did a really nice job with that. Yeah. But any questions on this? Jump next into the lobby again, Narthex lobby. Let's see here. This is the new. This would be looking in the lobby towards the connector. So this door on the far left is outside on the porch. The door on the right is would be going from the lobby into that connector, so you wouldn't have to go through the sanctuary to get between the buildings. You sort of see this. So that's sort of where the sound closet door is now.
Where's the sound going? Where's the sound system going?
Well, that's a good question. The new sound closet, right? So this is the layout of the lobby. Again, you can see this is the new hallway that goes through on the left, bottom, in the blue area, then the sound closet, and then we have 3 sets of doors going into the sanctuary. So a single, a double, and then another single. And then we've added on the right a new storage space. The feeling was that we could use a little more storage space, and with the chancel being lowered, and we might have multiple parts we want to use at different times. So these doors go open towards the sanctuary side to make that storage easy to use there.
What are those things in between the doors?
That's a really good question. We'll have to bring those up.
Are those seats?
No, these are actually mechanical, so they're vents. So in the sanctuary, and I'll show some pictures of it in a moment, we need a return air for all the airflow because we're going to have a heating system, modern heating system. So those actually, and I'll show you in a minute, end up
next Sunday.
Next Sunday, yeah. I should say a modern heating and cooling system. But those end up about tabletop height, and I'll show you what they look like inside and out. But yes, those will.
Can they be used as display tables?
Yes, they can. Yeah. Small ones, about 10 inches, or so. But yeah.
So are we having air conditioning in there too? Or?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So the new heating system is a heat pump, which can do both heating and cooling.
And where are the interior pillars?
So these are the interior pillars up here at the top. They're half pillars now. So it turns out that they are a thin pillar in the middle, and it's a covering on the outside, so they can take it. So it'll be fluted as they are now on the church side, but then flat against the wall.
The doors, are they going to be sort of similar to the current doors, like they're glass? Okay. Bingo. Thank you.
Yes. So this is a look inside the lobby, looking towards the sanctuary. These and the 2 bump outs you said. These are these new returns. The wainscoting will be similar on this to match the style of the inside of the church now. And they try to match things wherever they could. But yes, these will have windows, and I'll show you in a moment from the other side. But the storage space will also have windows. They'll just be blacked out, but that way it'll look consistent across there. So this is from the from the looking towards the lobby from the sanctuary. You can see these two green vents down here. So those are the air returns, bringing the air back down to the system, and they go down below. On the far left is the storage space, which will have the blackout windows for the storage space, but keep a very similar view. And then you can see all the doors that go along.
We won't need those fans. We won't need the fan.
Yeah, yeah. I know.
Frank, is your AV office still gonna be in the upper right?
Yes. We'll be able to keep the AV upstairs, but we'll keep the sound closet downstairs. We talked a little bit about, well, should we move everything upstairs? But again, accessibility. If somebody runs sound and wants to do it from an iPad and be downstairs, they can get to everything and have to go upstairs. Any other questions on this? If people online on Zoom want to have questions, certainly you can type them, or you can will the new system be for heating or heat and air conditioning? Heat and air conditioning, the new system is.
In the sanctuary.
In the sanctuary only, yep. Nothing in the parish house heating is changing, or the doors swing into the lobby, or they swing towards the lobby. Let me see, one of these showed that.
So not like pocket doors where they slide to the.
No, they open towards the lobby side.
Okay.
You also asked if they opened flat.
I think this is full open, but I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah.
We can ask the architects that, whether these go farther or how they go, but I think that's.
They won't be able to go flat the way they do right now.
Yeah.
Because there's too many things in the way.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
the heating system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of important.
Which we know we want.
Let's see, heating system or
And
flat
air
doors.
conditioning. Air conditioning
Yeah.
piece too.
And air conditioning, yes.
I like they kept the pillars, even though they had to round, like half
Yeah.
pillar. I like the historic aesthetic.
Yeah. It took us a while because now the doors are nicely placed to them. Originally, things were a little off centered, so.
Any sense yet of what the flooring material is here?
No,
We haven't talked about that at all.
yeah, I don't think we have. Red carpet.
That was kind of my,
I would imagine it'll be something to match the sanctuary.
Yeah.
That would be my
Right.
guess. But we haven't talked about sanctuary flooring either, and we'll certainly have to. There's
Oh,
some
yeah.
work being done that we'll have to replace the carpet in the sanctuary. So, we can start taking nominations for carpet colors anytime.
Right?
Yes.
The doors going to storage closet, if you're in the sanctuary and you're leaving, they all kind of look the same. Are people gonna like walk into the storage closet accidentally?
Again, it's a good question. I think because you won't be able to see through them. Where the other ones you'll be able to see through, and those will be sort of blanked out. So I don't think people will be tempted to walk into them.
They'll probably have a locking mechanism on it as well, I would imagine, so.
Yeah.
We can always add a sign.
Ouch.
buzzer if you open the door.
Frank, if we're looking at a plan, does that mean we can afford it?
Yes, the things that are in this plan are the things that fit into what
So
we.
they said they can do this stuff that they're showing.
Yes, I should say yes, but until they get all these designs done and we say, yep, this is looking like we want, then they go into the detailed design, and then Hutter, who's doing the pricing and the construction, then double checks everything. So there's still a process in there, but the architects are usually pretty good at this and putting it within the price range that we raised. Unless we want to raise more for a better heating. Okay. Then the next is the addition that's going on outside. So we've looked at the vestibule, another view of this. So that's pretty good. This gives a better feeling of, there's where the existing double doors are now, at the bottom of the yellow section that says vestibule. And then everything up is the new part.
Frank, this is the Grove Street entrance?
Correct. Yep. This would be coming in from Grove Street right over here.
The existing doors going away?
I think they were planning to leave them in at the moment, as last I remember them saying.
Leave what, Frank?
These set of doors here, so this is where the existing doors are, and here's where the new set of doors are, at the bottom and top of that yellow vestibule, please. And so I think that the bottom, they were planning to just leave the doors there at the moment.
I think so, and that'll create a nice airlock too.
Right.
Are they leaving the playground, or is the playground out here getting changed?
Nope, this doesn't come out to the playground, it just goes out a little ways, but as far as I know, we don't need it.
What about the entry to the cemetery? Is that covered or is that still there?
Get covered.
Yeah,
You have to hop the wall now.
you have to top the wall, I imagine.
Well, there's a gate right on the other side of the parking lot.
Yeah.
Which actually goes, this gate is actually the least useful of the gates because
Yeah.
it doesn't go to a path.
Yeah.
It goes to like, you know.
Over a grade.
Yeah.
Frank, will there be coat racks in the vestibules?
Good question.
I mean,
Yeah, makes sense.
the coat room across from the dining room is kind of nice.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Are these doors mechanical doors that are open?
I believe that's the plan, right? For them to be like.
Yeah, handicap button and auto open, yeah.
And the front one too, the new front one.
Yeah, at least this outside door. I don't know if they were thinking the inside door or not.
Yeah,
That's a good
we
question.
had a conversation and I was like trying to remember exactly what we talked about, but
Yeah, it was a while ago,
yeah.
but good question.
Wouldn't it make sense to have the outside ones handicap accessible, but the inside ones not?
Right.
Right.
I thought we talked about both of them.
Yeah.
Which might mean that we are then replacing the inside ones, but we'll figure it out.
And I think there's one other view here, but it's confusing because it's cut away. But so this is the stairway coming down again. At this point, it would be just windows, not an exit.
Couldn't figure out where I.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so this is coming in from Grove Street on the far right, and the white part there with windows is the new entry, and then this big white block in the middle is where you go down to the new entryway and the new connector, and then down the stairs will stay the same, except for halfway down will not be a door. I don't know about that. The question was, is the existing double doors? I think it was.
They are big enough. It's just that, yeah, the existing doors, you have to like do some special maneuvering to open both of them at the same time. So I think the idea is that we would either no longer have to do that because they're no longer the outdoor doors, right? So they wouldn't be secured in the same way. Or if we replace them, like that width is fine. It's just the fact that it's only easy to open one of the doors. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
There's that
yeah.
post in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I think they're looking, well, they still have to have a post, probably for the outside door, so it's a good question.
Whatever can be done to have that accessible with a button is huge, because I can tell you from being on crutches for a number, you have to like prop the door open with your crutch as you continue to crunch through it, because otherwise it'll,
Come back, yeah.
I can't tell you how many doors I've gone, like an automatic door with my wheelchair. When I was in a wheelchair, I would go in through one set and then the next set of doors was not accessible, and then I'd be stuck in the vestibule waiting for someone else to come into the parking lot to open the door for me.
Yeah, that's a good input.
Will we need a new security system or can we use the existing security system?
Yeah, we'll be fine with our existing.
Existing, the zones might change a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's the same system.
Yeah.
And Allison will be able to push a button on her phone and the door is open?
You can push a button and do it a lot.
I know that our current doors are too old to do that with, so that may be the kind of thing that we,
But you do control the alarm from your phone.
yes, I can control the alarm from my phone,
Yeah.
not the doors. I know. We don't use it.
And a heating system for our phones, but that didn't help.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right, how many passes did you go back and forth with the architects for this stage of the plans?
This stage of the plan, I think we just had our third meeting on this stage, so.
So they've had 3 sets of feedback from you guys?
Yes, yeah.
This is pretty good.
And they're planning to get, I think, one more set of feedback from us before submitting them to the historic district.
Right, for the front entryway, because they haven't done the detail.
Yeah, I do see one note on there that I do want to point out as well. The wheelchair accessibility, being able to get through a widened door.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we'll definitely ask how wide the,
The door in the middle on the left-hand side, that goes away.
that halfway down here, yes, yeah, that'll just be windows there. We talked about accessibility and everything else, but it's since there's doors at every classroom that go outside, and then people are coming up the stairs, just go up one more stairs.
So are these things gonna be accessible on the website for people to see who weren't able to come today?
We're recording this whole thing and we're planning to share it.
Yeah.
For folks who can't come. We might, I don't know if we'll share these particular drawings because they take a lot of explanation. So probably, I'm thinking the video rather than
Yeah.
pictures at this
Yeah.
point.
The video won't show Frank pointing.
Yeah,
I know, yeah.
Right, I'm trying to describe things well, but yes,
Yeah.
I agree. And
Is there a date for the final feedback before it's too late to make any?
before it's too late, that was last.
before they go to the historical.
The historic board will be, so anything from the outside look will be, when they go to the historic, well, it's never an end, but we would have to go back to them again. But, so that's, within the next, probably month, right? The outside look is gonna be presented to the historic commission. And the interior ones, well, so we're trying to do a June break ground, and there's a lot of things that have to happen between there and there. So we don't have a date at this point. That's a good question about what's the last date they can take input, and it'll probably be in sections because they'll probably go, all right, we're set on the connector between the sanctuary and the parish house. We're starting our detailed drawings on that. That's sort of then harder to make changes, right? So they'll sort of give us section by section as they start working in heavy detail on it.
This is great publicity for the church, and once people realize that this church is going to be a lot more accessible, we may find we get a lot more members.
Nice.
So we should have the Telegraph involved in writing this up when the historic commission.
Does anybody read that?
The any type of local media, yeah.
And we will have like an event for the groundbreaking, right? So, stay tuned for when that will be, but at some point we'll do something for the groundbreaking.
We could have a whole New Hampshire Chronicle section if we wanted to, on Channel 9.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh, any other questions or wanna look at again, or?
Does it complicate things that the cemetery is separate? If we have to do anything in the back of the building?
Difficult from the point of view that we need to make sure we don't disturb anything, but I think we've been looking at that and looking at the records and everything else, so hopefully we're okay with everything we're doing.
It's okay to move a grave, or it's not okay?
We're not gonna move any graves. Just to be clear, we're not moving any graves.
Unless there's some that are really unmarked, but we're not going down deep anywhere in the back or anything, it's all grading, so.
What's the timeline from when you break ground to when you expect to have this fort finished?
That's a good one. We don't have that date because we keep asking them because there are weddings and other events starting to be planned for the fall. So we've been asking them for dates. And
Yeah, looking at me right here.
Yeah.
So what we can say is that we have been told the timeline for the whole project is 5 months. What we all know,
Wow.
I know, I don't believe it either. What we all know from experiencing construction projects is that 5 months means at least 7 months, right? So so I'm, in my head, I'm thinking 7 months.
Yeah.
So I invite you to ponder 7 months with me, and also know that we know nothing concrete at this point, including the start date. But it is also true that that doesn't mean there'll be 7 months where we can't be in any of the spaces, right? So we've asked the architects to prioritize specifically having our preschool stay in their space, so that we don't have to move 80 preschoolers. So any work that is going to disturb the usability of that part of the building is going to be done over the summer, right? And then the other stuff may be done in stages as well, right? So there might be a moment where we can start using our sanctuary again, but like we don't actually have that main entrance available yet. So 7 months of disturbance, probably not 7 months of being totally out of the building.
And where would summer services be if people are holding those?
To be decided. I've been waiting for a timeline of a more exact timeline to make plans. I have some ideas. I have some local colleagues who have already said, if you do this, you could use our space.
Oh, good.
So we will have summer services somewhere, and I'll tell you where to go.
Down the Riverwalk Cafe.
Yeah, there you go.
Mexican restaurant. The signs out front, what's happening to those? The signs in front of the.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question. At the moment, I would say that after things have been disturbed, everything will be put back the way it is. So, yeah.
Currently, our archives are in this nasty little closet downstairs.
The vault.
Is there any thought to creating a real vault for those that, fireproof walls and whatever the heck you need to preserve
The
this?
storage closet.
There was, I mean, in the original thinking of everything, it didn't make the cut, because it's a big.
And our next capital campaign, we'll create a real vault too.
Oh, vaults don't sound that exciting.
Real vault, so back to
So Frank, who's on the BOV committee now?
hey, Ray.
You can do it.
I can do it. Allison, Victoria, Emma, Bill, who did I miss? John, Ellen, myself, and then who's not
That's it.
here? That is it?
I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Great job.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys have been busy.
Sorry, the one thing, do we know what it looks like from sitting in the pew view of the sanctuary?
We don't have those drawings yet. Yeah.
Oh, they're probably gonna build a model that you're gonna walk through.
With virtual reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
That'd
be cool.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for coming, and certainly,
Thank you.
if you have comments, talk to one of us or email or.
So I actually brought up your dates and
rid of that. They're gonna give everybody Apple Vision goggles as soon as they walk in.
And
They all have Apple Vision.
Right. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, a bunch of them dropped off.
Well, the only ones of those are deck illiterate people have a hard time.
Photograph of a sign.
Yeah, I think most people have dropped off. There were 9. 9 or 10, yeah. What?
Such a overreach. TV is in the way.
Spent some time with them over the last night, because you said it last night. Put them in order.
And he already said we should learn how to break.
Yeah, I know.
I was so surprised because the way this drawing looks, it's like obvious that you have to have brick to make it connect.
Right.
So I'm surprised that no one's saying it.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with this. I think it should be granted.
Right. Well, I think, well, when I first looked at it, I wasn't. But after the conversation, I was.
Wonder if you could use some granite from the stairs that are
They're
removed.
definitely using it.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, probably, so this area here is actually filled in some, and they'll probably use some of that granite.
Yeah. Say, something that occurred to me, do you know if this out here is a combined sewer system?
Yes, and they're taking that into.
Okay, I was gonna say, the city might not be happy to
Windows do
have more
start 2
water
feet
coming
up.
into it.
Don't the windows already start 2 feet off the ground? I don't think this is window.
Yeah, I don't know if
Because
that
I
is.
looked, I was like,
Yeah.
'cause there, I think they're full windows.
Right.
But I don't know if this is a shadow or whatever, but I was assuming there's probably some wall here because I believe inside there's steps going up. Or something, or there was like an angle or so, I don't know.
Well, this is
Toss
a
up this way,
walkway.
right? But I kind of assumed this was this color, the shadows don't make sense here, so that pretty do start up.
Right, I think so too. I think the way it looked, yeah.
Because I think like even if they'd made it like, because that definitely looks, yeah, because it's got.
Right, yeah, you can see things in.
Yeah, so I think if they made this shinier like that, because that was an interesting comment, and I'm like, everybody wants more windows. Like, nobody doesn't want more windows, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, it does like, really nice job. And we put already like one of my favorites because it has if you cannot speak for that, because I know shit my head. So I'm like, okay, I saw that value, even though I can't do that, so I appreciate it.
Yes, yeah. No, appreciate everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, so, and I think maybe Abigail, not Abigail, sorry, Amanda Abigail's little, might join the tree thing, so I'll just make sure that she was thinking about it, so I can let her know that, just since I talked to her, I say we are gonna be.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, I can, if you want,
They're even gonna have a meeting.
email Erica to reserve a room, and they're probably gonna be in the sanctuary.
Yeah.
I want to say, oh, right, they may not be meeting.
Yeah.
So that may not work.
I had to walk outside, at least in the beginning, and look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, some of those things.
So I don't worry about
The ones I worry about, like, once you got plank wood and everything, you know,
Right, that's,
you build things with it, but it's like, how do we get it to that?
right, and you're right, like the keeping it for as long as you need to keep it, to whatever process, whatever, but yeah, that's a lot of wood to. I don't know. Is it that other church that you?
Yeah, I'll report, I have the email, and the person who organized it, I'm friends with, so like, you can always ask them all.
Yeah, I don't know how many people. I do like, I would thought like the maple, even if it's not great wood, it's just wood, we might as well, we've already got task force doing it.
Right, like how sick it is, right, yeah.
I was talking about something, right?
Right,
Mementos or something, and I know, Robin Trudell does a bunch of them.
Yeah. That's nice thing too, is don't imply do things behind pictures and stuff, like, so we talked about like history more and stuff like that, so you could use it as a plaque to put something on.
Yeah, that'd be beautiful.
Yeah.
Maple is nice, like, I think there's fun, and then you talked about, like, you talked about display cases, you talked about furniture, you need just the shades of like, that's the wine number.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I can go to the wine because.
The one that nobody asked, that's Sanctuary, which is interesting, is like Right now, we have benches on the back wall.
That's true, we could just do it all in the.
Right, yeah.
Everybody was asked about that.
Well, you can see about like, so the next question said maybe where those back benches are, so. I don't think anyone's.
11 o'clock is casual.
I really want it to be.
Most of the time.
And I, we are, exit signs over there. Oh, but it is nice. So,
Yeah.
it seems to be well received.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I kind of like too, like when you talked about the granite being local, as opposed to like it's a local. Like, yeah, that's something we'd like to do too, so. That's something that would be. Especially if historical, Mr. likes it better, like you said. So,
Right.
you know what they want, if it doesn't, if it doesn't matter.
I have an old colleague on Facebook.
I'll see you someday.
Yeah.
If there's anything else you want to do, then I'll check out. He's doing.
Yeah, and then following that, we can do on Zoom, yeah, my schedule.
He's so excited about this technique.
You know, I have first. One board I'm on, is being retreat. Up there, and then like that.
And I mean, I
just want to get some exercise and all around. So
And it won't be as cold.
Yeah, a lot of discussion.
Yeah, I mean, but I think something.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you next week. And I will email Erica to
We're
get
about to get a survey done, which I'm so glad we're doing.
Yeah.
Hopefully nothing, you know.